don't know how that even works.
I'd wear a shirt.
Good. Yeah, the Ron Jeremy thing. Shirt, no pants.
Porky Pig in it.
I
Porky Pig it.
don't know how.
That's what open mic is. You Porky Pig.
You Porky Pig and just go in and just. But
go
I mean,
there, take your pants down. Don't do that. Literally.
Yeah, please. And if you do, don't tell them that we said it to do it. Don't do that.
But do tag us because we want to see.
Now, broadcasting live from the Podcast Palace on Park Street in beautiful and dangerous Clearwater, Florida, it's the Comedians on Cork podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Tony Gaud and Pat Largo.
Tony, laid upon us, what is the question of the week this week?
Well, I think this is a great question. Which musicians do you think would make good comedians?
Oh, wow.
I think there's a couple out there that could just step onto the stage as comedians right now.
Without a doubt. And not hearing this question before, I'm just trying to get the juices flowing here. You want me to take a shot?
Yeah, good.
Okay.
I already got a couple in mind, but I want to hear just off the top of your head.
Yeah. There's definitely a few. I would almost say just about any country artist.
That's kind of cool, yeah.
Luke Bryan, the judge from American Idol, the country guy. Because if you hear some of their songs, there's some of them. They're all, every musician is a storyteller. But some of their stuff is hilarious. I would say Luke Bryan.
But do you think he'll be able to go on and have the persona to perform as a comedian?
As a stand-up comedian. I think now may not be one of the guys or girls you just mentioned who could literally just step up on the stage right now, but I think the way he writes his material, because they already have the stage presence for the most part, right? So I would say
that's the difference. Yeah,
Luke Bryan. I would say Toby Keith, country guy. I'm just going to do one more that I just. What's the guy there? The judge on The Voice. The big. He married Gwen Stefani.
What is his name?
The big 6'5" guy.
I can't even think of it right now.
I think he won like the Sexiest Man Alive or something like that.
One of those things. Yeah.
I forget, and just leave it in the comments. I'm not going to go on my stupid phone and look for it right now. But you know who I'm talking about, guys. The guy from The Voice, he used to bust chops. He always busts chops with people. He's fantastic. And I got to throw one more out who's not a country artist, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I just thought about this just now. I would say, without a doubt, unequivocally, Henry Rollins.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That guy right now, you could just wake him up and he'd step on a stage with a microphone. And I think he'd kill it.
Well, to be fair, for those that don't know or need to go back and review the history of Henry Rollins. Henry Rollins, he was doing spoken word tours way back in the 90s.
Right.
So it's like way back in the mid 90s. So it's like he was just like, like one phrase, turn of a phrase away from being a comedian, really, because he was telling his stories on stage from the books that he wrote. He also wrote books, people, for those who don't know.
Right. Yeah.
But he's a good candidate. Yeah, I could see that. That's a good one. Yeah.
And he was also on an episode on Comedy Central of This Is Not Happening.
Oh yeah,
and I forgot. I forgot if it was Roy Woods. I mean, probably Ari Shaffir was probably hosting that one, if I had to guess. But he does a great story about being on mushrooms with another famous singer who escapes me at the moment. What a story! I mean, it was like it took place in one day. The story he tells. So go YouTube it. It was freaking. It's everything. It's funny, but it's just you just go, wow, that's how you guys partied back then? Like, it was amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Right. Well, I got a couple of good ones for you.
All right, cool.
That you probably you didn't even think about or just it slipped your mind.
Uh-huh.
But I'm gonna throw one out right now. Snoop Dogg.
Oh.
Right?
Of course.
Snoop Dogg right to the stage. Just don't even turn his music on. And he's doing comedy.
Just as
You
Mike.
know?
That's it.
Snoop Dogg,
Wow.
Drake
Okay. Yeah.
is another one.
Yep. Yep.
Now he also came from an acting background as well, because he was doing the TV show before his music
Yes.
blew up. So he was already, used to performing like that. But Drake, Lady Gaga,
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think she would do really good because she's got a really good sense of humor.
Now you
She's
see.
funny.
Okay. You see, I didn't really know that
Yeah.
about her.
Yeah,
And
she's
I
funny.
think she's a great singer. I think she's a really good actress now, right? I mean, I think she's very attractive. But I did not know though, like her humor.
Yeah, she's funny. And here's another one that
Yeah.
I basically stumbled across because I saw like footage, on YouTube, you see the singers and you're performing and talking to the audience and all that stuff. Adele.
Oh, yeah.
Have you
Okay.
seen it? You know what I'm talking about?
I
Have
don't
you seen
know
her?
if it's the exact footage you're talking about, but just hearing her talk to audiences or just in general, like with interviews, she's a typical UK chick, man, who
Yeah.
just throws it
Yeah.
out there.
She's got the dry humor and she's
Yeah.
like just really good timing and it's like she's funny, man. She's got that likability,
Yeah.
obviously. So it's like, yeah, she's another one. So there's so many, but it's like, we didn't even dip into a lot.
Dude, that's a great thing. I was gonna say Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters, but I just think
Yes.
I think, but he just gets so hammy and like cheesy sometimes. I don't know, but
Oh,
I think
but
he is funny. I think he is funny.
But the thing, he's funny, but that's his brand. You're just hating on his style now.
Well, I know when you talk to him, like I saw him on the Whitney Cummings podcast and other people's podcasts and interviews. I'm like, dude is pretty. He's quick. He's funny. He's a rock star. I mean, how can you go wrong?
Well, let's introduce Aniria to the question. So each week we give a question of the week for the show, and if listeners want to leave comments to the answers, or even they could leave a voicemail, and for us as well, we could play it on the show. This week's question of the week was, which 4 comics would you like to see in a lineup together, living or dead?
Oh, God.
So me and Pat have made a list. We'll go first.
Yes.
I'll leave you a couple
Gives
minutes.
me time to think.
Yeah. So did you want to go first, Pat?
Oh yeah.
All right. So Pat, this is yours. These are yours.
This is one of these hit me actually yesterday. I had 3, and then I said, "Oh, I got one." This is it's a crazy little lineup, but I kind of thought long and hard about this. I would like to, since it's either dead or alive, 4 comedians you want to see do a show together. Charlie Chaplin.
All right.
Wow.
Groucho Marx.
Oh man.
Paul Mooney. And then Mitch Hedberg.
Wow. On the same show?
Yes. And my reasoning is I would love to have them go in order, like Chaplin and then Groucho follow Chaplin. I want to see Paul Mooney riff if I had a choice. I want to have
riff
him
on the whitest guys.
I want to hear him.
And then Paul Mooney.
What would he say? What would Paul Mooney say about Charlie Chaplin and Groucho Marx? And then do his own stuff, which was, of course, amazing. And then just to have Hedberg come up and do his witty one-liners and just be Mitch Hedberg.
That's
but
hilarious.
that would be I just want to see what would Chaplin do outside of silent movies.
Yeah.
Because he was obviously he was a comedian. He's comedy.
Yeah.
But I saw in that one, was it Robert who did the show, the Chaplin movie? Robert Downey.
Yeah, Downey Jr.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh my God! And just the struggles he had and the stuff like that was amazing. But I would love to see that Chaplin, Groucho Marx, which it's just Groucho Marx. Always cracked me up. And then Paul Mooney, and then the late great Mitch Hedberg. Well, I guess they're all late greats.
Okay, so this question was really tough because it's like I immediately could make a dozen lists.
Sure.
I know.
So it's, like,
it's hard.
So instead I did 2 lists. I couldn't just do one.
Okay.
Because that's just that's not fair. So the one list is Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle, Robert Schimmel,
Nice.
Ooh.
and Sam Kinison
Wow.
for that one. Okay, the best: Norm Macdonald, Brian Regan, Godfrey,
Yes.
Oh, I love Godfrey.
Don Rickles.
Whoa.
Get Out.
Yes.
That's it. That's
Yo.
a great fucking show. Right
That
there.
is, you know, I just want to
Yeah.
give a shout out to Godfrey because
Godfrey's awesome.
is he like a prodigy or something? Because somebody told me that he never does the same show.
I've worked
like
with
back to
Godfrey a couple times. He's cool. I've worked with him. I remember the first time he came through. It's like I hadn't met him before, and I picked him up at the airport. He is one of the funniest people. I swear to God, he is
super
so
funny.
underrated.
My list.
Give it to us.
Okay. It's a little bizarre, but I would have Anthony Jeselnik.
Nice. Okay.
I love him. Love his just no fear.
Yeah.
Joan
time.
Rivers,
Oh yeah.
Stephen Wright. Oh man. Right.
I've got one of his
I almost
albums
switched
still.
it for Mitch Hedberg because they're I love that style.
I still got him on vinyl.
Do you really?
Friggin' Steve Wright.
I saw him live in Lubbock, Texas, y'all.
Oh, wow.
I never laughed so hard. I don't know if he was actually that funny or I was just living in the hick town so
Yeah.
long that everything was funny to me.
Yeah.
And then my last person would be Mark Vieira. He's a Puerto Rican comic out of New York. He's so funny.
like the kings of comedy or New York comedy, something like that. They got like a crew up there that he rolls with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's so funny
Yeah,
to me. And
he's funny.
speaking of gracious people, he's like Godfrey. I don't know that he would help with open mic. He probably would. But I remember he was at the Tampa Improv. I don't remember who were the hostess. It was either Mike Morris, which I haven't heard about him in a while.
He's been laying low, yeah.
Yeah. And I know it was Mike Morris, Rio was there, and I was just there watching the show. But after the show, he sat and talked to us for more than an hour about the business.
That's cool.
And giving us warning. One of the things I remember the most was if your material or your act isn't fire, like like a lightning bolt hitting every so many seconds, don't do a special. Just don't do it. Don't do it.
So the question was from last week, who are your two favorite comedians in dramatic film roles?
Hi, I wanted to call in and tell you who my two favorite stand-up comedians as dramatic actors are. Oh, by the way, this is Aniria. I would have to say that Monique is one of them. I love her as a comic and I love her as an actress. I really enjoyed her roles in Precious and in the movie Bessie, which I've seen a million times, as her role as Ma Rainey. And my other favorite comic that is an excellent dramatic actor would be Robin Williams. If you haven't really checked him out, which I can't imagine anybody who hasn't seen him in a dramatic role, but my favorites are definitely Good Will Hunting and 1 Hour Photo. Excellent work on both of their parts.
So I had to do a honorable mention.
Okay, I know you do.
Just because this is for film, so I wanted to mention on TV. Richard Belzer from Law and Order. He's been on the TV drama show. He was on there for years.
Right.
But years before that, he was a headlining comedian. He came up with like Richard Pryor,
Yes.
Letterman, all those guys. But yeah, he's been around for years. He was successful as a comedian. Then he went on Law and Order, and he was there forever. And if you didn't know he was a comedian, you just thought he was a dramatic actor. So that was a cool one. There's some other ones, but for the favorites for the film dramatic roles, there are several. Well, I'm going to give you a couple real quick. One is Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Whoopi Goldberg, Color Purple. Yeah, she was awesome. But yeah, she's been a dramatic actress. She's obviously a comedian. Tony Award for or one-person show on Broadway. The obvious answer, a lot of people would think it was Robin Williams.
Right.
Which is an excellent choice.
Yeah.
But it's obvious.
Right.
So I wanted to go a couple other people different. One, Jim Carrey.
Yeah, that was
another great,
yeah,
great comedian, great dramatic actor. And Monique, Precious. She won an Academy Award for that role.
Yes, she
Best
did.
Supporting actress.
Yes, she did.
She was intense.
That's
So there's others, but there's those
Yeah.
are some that stick out.
yes.
So-
And the last two you mentioned, Carrie, yes. And then I was thinking, just now I was thinking, was her name, it was a one name thing, was it Monique or something else? And then you said it, Monique. I'm like, that's it. So, and that was
Yeah.
awesome, right? Because like, she was like not supposed, I mean, like when she was nominated and then won, that was like a total
She didn't
surprise,
expect to
right?
win.
Mine, I did go obvious with Robin Williams only because he had so many.
You
But,
have to. You have to mention him.
I remember him years ago. Me and my parents watched Good Morning Vietnam,
Mhm.
right? Was it Adrian Cronauer he played? I think that was the DJ's name in Vietnam that he was portraying.
Yeah.
Adrian Cronauer, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't remember offhand.
And that was great because I had a cousin of mine in Vietnam. Now, I also thought of, I know he did a 1 hour photo.
1 hour photo.
Which was a crazy one. I also said Patch Adams. Patch was I know it was based on a real doctor,
Yes, that was
Dr.
a great
Adams.
movie, yeah.
Yeah, like Hunter Adams or something like that, but his nickname was Patch. Goodwill Hunting,
Dead Poet Society.
Dead
Goodwill
Poet
Hunting.
Society. I'm sorry, did I say good? No, he wasn't in. Was he in Goodwill Hunting?
Yeah,
Yes.
Goodwill
Okay,
Hunting, yeah. He
right.
won, he won an Academy Award.
Yeah, I know. I got confused. That one, but yeah,
What's the other one? The one with Robert De Niro. I can't think of the name right now. But you know what I'm talking about.
Folks, help us out right now.
Yeah, what's the word? What is it?
The hell is it? I know what you're talking about. I'll have to ask my phone after I get off that. I don't want to interrupt the show now. But that one right there. So Williams across the board. And then I went with Michael Keaton in Batman.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. And
That's
people right
good
now
one.
are listening and go, Michael Keaton, what are you talking about? And I go, yes, because he was a comedian.
Yes.
And I know because I checked it out with Tony last week, and he goes, yes, he was a stand-up. In fact, we had a Neri attorney on. I think we did this off mic, and she's like, he was a comic? And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
You can look it up. You can find clips of him doing
Yeah.
stand-up.
And that guy is able to play so many different roles. But I loved it in, was it 89 or 90? That was the first Batman movie.
I think it was like 89.
Maybe 89, I want to say. Yeah, because a buddy of mine had the big cardboard cutout of Keaton, in the outfit there. And that, like 92 was my best Halloween. I got to actually rent that Batman costume. And I felt awesome in it. But just
a quick check on the film is called Awakenings.
Awaken. Oh, wow. I'd have to like rewatch that because I forgot some of that movie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's good.
Yeah.
But it's like Seinfeld said, and Steve Harvey in Comedians Uncorked, in Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, they were talking back and forth about stuff. And they said, you notice that there's great comedians can go on to be really great actors, but great actors don't go on to be great comedians.
Yeah.
So you got that base of comedy and that pain and everything you're hiding or suppressing for the most part, and then how you carry it into a whole new area of art on screen. And it makes a lot of sense. So
yeah.
that's really cool.
It's easier to become revealing because you've already revealed so much as a comedian,
Yeah,
They'll
thanks for
wave it
listening.
around. They
And
get,
then what?
get off. Get out.
All right, guys, it's that time I know you've been asking for. It's that time of the week again with Tony Gaud and myself, Pat Largo, for question of the week. And as always, Mr. Gaud is going to present that. What's your question this week, Tony?
This week's question.
Yes.
What are 3 good tips for an open mic beginner? 3 good tips for an open mic beginner? So basically somebody between 0 days and 1 year of open mic.
Yeah.
What are three good tips?
Oh boy. Okay. I think for me especially, keep everything simple. Like that's a main thing for me. I still do it now. But I mean, like I would say just keep things as simple as possible, because it's probably, especially if it's your first time ever, like just don't inundate on craziness and big time writing. Just keep stuff simple, jokes simple, premises maybe simple. That's my opinion, of course. Right. Keep it simple, stupid. Right. Exactly. That's the only thing I remember from my 8th grade business class was Mr. Blazewitz. See, it's crazy. But I don't know if there's any certain order. I just throw that one first. Keep it simple. I would, before I did an open mic, I would go to maybe an open mic and just sit down and just see what goes on before you do it, maybe just to see, all right, this is how they run it, or this is how this one is run, this is what they're doing. And just to get an idea,
Yeah.
So I would think that I've done it many times, just to go, because I was chickened out. So I would just sit there and watch. And then I think third, and this is I think just no matter when you're doing comedy or however many years, is probably then a tip is to know your time. So if they say, hey, we want you to do 5 minutes and we're gonna either cut the mic or light you at 4 minutes, you got to know your time. So I think it'd be a good tip is just to get your jokes together and go, okay, if I talk at this pace, okay, maybe pause for a few laughs. And do I have the 3 minutes or the 4 minute? Like just check my time just to make sure that, I don't mind you going under, especially if it's your first time or a few times, right? So if it's supposed to be 5 minutes and you do 3, hey, you did it. You did something most people haven't done. And that's go on stage and tell jokes.
Yeah.
So, as opposed to just keep kind of rambling on and just doing stuff past the light, and people are going, okay, time to get off the stage now. So I think time would maybe be a tip but I think, keep it simple and maybe watch a couple of mics first, open mics, and just kind of see what they're doing. So then when you do it, you'll maybe be less nervous or more prepared.
Yeah, that's good. Those are good tips. The one about going to watch mics, that was one I was going to say as well. My advice after the what you were talking about, I would say I'm going to give you some basics that Pat kind of alluded to as well. The first one, respect the light. If you don't know what the light is, they will give you a flash of light. Usually, have a flashlight in the back of the room to let you know that you have about 1 minute left. This is for open mic, of course. If you're doing a professional show, then you basically tell them when to give you the light. If you want a 5 minute light, if you want a minute, before, your final bit. But when you see that light, wrap it up. Whatever joke you're on, end on that joke. Finish the joke and say good night. I would say write every day as much as you can. And I'll give you this tip as an easy way to keep that idea simple in your head. It's the Drew Carey rule. Drew Carey would write 10 jokes a day.
Oh, wow.
And they don't have to be good jokes. They don't have to be funny. They don't have to be tasteful. They don't have to be anything except for you trying to write a joke. Just write. But out of that, and that was a good exercise to do every day, because out of that you're going to have jokes that work, and you're going to start to come up with other ideas for jokes, but you're just developing the habit of how to write and how to write your jokes. because sometimes because you don't know what you're going to be when you start out. You might be a one-liner comic, you go up there and just do one-liners, like Stephen Wright or Mitch Hedberg, or you might tell stories, like so many comics do now. But you have to start out with the core of the joke, learn how to write the joke. So that's a thing. So write every day. A good exercise is to write 10 jokes a day, regardless of whether you think it's funny or not. And number 3, you should do every day, all the time, is just be respectful. Don't go in being rude to anybody. Respect everybody you meet. That should go on in every part of your life, anyways. But especially in this business, because you don't know who's in the room. First of all, if you're going to go in and play strategy, you don't know who's in the room. And that bartender that you think is hot and that you're going to try to hit on, she might be married to the manager or the owner, or she might be the manager or the owner.
Yeah.
And you just destroyed your career, because not only did you ruin your opportunity at that club, all the clubs know each other. They compete, but they all know each other. They're in the same business. They use the same resources. We are the same product that they all share. So they're gonna let other clubs know whether this is a good product or not. So when you get down there, you're gonna meet people that you might not that might not rub you the right way, but just be respectful. Just be cool, be respectful, do your thing, and come back and hit another stage. But I think those are good. I think those are good tips that we put out there. So that's a good one. And you have a mic. You run a mic.
I do now. Yeah, I'll give a shout out to, and hey, let me tell you this. I have to, because this is how good they are. We talked about this for a long time. I'll make this as brief as possible. It's called Dented Keg Ale Works in downtown Newport Richey, Florida, in Pasco County. And I live in Pasco. And long story, Rick Summer and his wife, Sheila, we've been talking about this for a while. And finally, a few months ago, he goes, hey, let's nail down a date. Let's do an open mic on a Tuesday night. Okay, cool. I've never run one before in my life. We do one a month. And not only has it been going good, thank goodness, and knock on wood and everything, it's been going great. It's just once a month, but we've been getting great comics coming out. People who are messaging on Facebook and Instagram going, hey, I'm writing jokes this week. I'm going to be there. Like people who don't do comedy. And it's awesome.
Oh.
And then just a few days ago, they got Business of the Year, a Business of the Year award in Newport Richey.
Awesome. Well, so what day is that?
Gosh, it's like we don't do it like the first or second. It's kind of like a different date every month, but I think
like random.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of about a month apart in media. But
well, you know what? Here's a bonus tip.
Oh, give me one
for the open micers if you're watching. For those people,
yeah.
Bonus tip: when you want to know where an open mic is going to be, do a little research. Mm-hmm. It's not that hard.
Oh yeah.
Like you can find most of these on social media, on all the platforms. And if it's on Facebook, there's more than likely a group in your area. Mm-hmm. Go to that group, and then you'll find there'll be lots of comics and lots of posts with the different open mics.
That's right.
And go do it. I mean, that's bottom line is once you start, that's what it is. You go and you do it. No one's going to hold your hand.
It's just like an orgy, Tony. Go and see the first couple.
Well, see, somebody can hold your hand during an orgy.
And then, I would be so uncomfortable. I am not. I don't know how that even works.
I'd wear a shirt.
Good. Yeah, the Ron Jeremy thing. Shirt, no pants.
That's it. Porky Pig in it. I'd Porky Pig it.
I don't know how.
That's what open mic is. You Porky Pig.
You Porky Pig and just go in and
That's
just.
It.
But I mean,
take your pants down. Don't do that. Literally.
Yeah, please. And if you do, don't tell them that we said it to do it. Don't do that.
But do tag us because we want to see.
Yes, we want to see everything.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But that's good. No, those are good tips. Do it in your city or state or country, wherever you are. Do one yourself. Go to a local bar and say, hey, you want to do an open mic? They'll probably say yes.
Do yourself.
You know, we don't even need really an ending on that, right? We're just kind of just go to whatever, right?
That's it.
All right, good.
You're an open micer. This is the ending you get, pal.
That's right. You get the light. If I wish I had a light.
Yeah,
Shine.
you got the light. Yeah.
I go, oh, and then you go, okay, do your punchline. Go, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for
wave it
listening.
around.
Then what?
Get off. Get out. Let's get out of here, man.
All right, we're done. That was question of the week. And don't forget to check us out on social media. And if not, then we don't like you.
Comedians Uncorked.